Well, hello. I hope everybody out there is having a wonderful day. My name is Mike, and today I'm going to be talking about my experience with the 2023 Nissan Sentra. As you may know, or you may not know, I purchased this not exactly, about a year ago today. And I want to give you my opinion on what it's like to own and drive one of these vehicles. So if you're thinking about purchasing one or you already have one, stick around. Right, so I basically use this 2023 Sentra as a commuter car. It's the SV edition with the tan interior, tan and black interior, and the gray exterior with the sunroof. Sorry to break in, guys, but it's not a 2023 Nissan Sentra, it's a 2022. So if you hear me referring to 2023, brain lapse, it's a 2022. Now on with the video. So anyway, let's hop in and we'll check it out. I've already done a review on this car, so if you'd like, you can check out that link. Put it in the description, and let's see what we have on the odometer. We have 19,417 miles. Yes, that's how much I've driven in 1 year. I average about 60 miles round trip to work, and it's basically what I use it for. However, I've been a little surprised. I have actually lugged some stuff from Home Depot in this car. Yep, I put some concrete in the back. In the trunk there's plenty of space for grocery shopping, and believe it or not, I put 10-foot sections of molding in here. I use the fold down seats, go through the rear seats there, bring it all the way up, and I rest it right on the infotainment center, right on the top. So I've just put a little towel on there, rest it on there. Of course, I don't, put too much weight on there, maybe 3-4 pieces of 10-foot molding. So it's done me well. And I just want to let you know my experience again with this 2023 Nissan Sentra. It is the SV edition, of course, with the beautiful tan interior. So I purchased it back in August 2023 for the purpose of commuting to work. I had a new job, and it's going to be quite a commute, so I wanted to save a little bit on gas. And to my surprise, the average on this, the gas mileage, is about 32 to 33 miles per gallon. I do a combination driving. Half of my trip is highway, the other half is local. So that's a great average, I think. So it's fair to say that the average mileage on this is 32 miles per gallon. So how's the drivability? At first, it was great. Very comfortable, sounded like a solid car, handled turns well, got me to work and back. And for a $26,000 car, it was fantastic. It was great. A year later, it's still pretty damn good. The interior is just fantastic. I almost fall asleep going to work. It's just one of the most comfortable cars I've been in this price range. It seems to be just fine. When I come home from work, I actually use the sunroof when it's not sunny. I don't want to burn my head, but it's very relaxing. The radio is very relaxing. The air conditioner, oh my gosh, that works fantastic. You want to freeze? Just put on the air conditioner in a Nissan vehicle. For some reason, their transmissions may not be the best, but their air conditioner will sure keep you cool. However, I did have a few issues in the beginning. Again, I have documented this. You can certainly look it up. My first oil change, great. I figure I'd do it myself and show everybody what it's like. I went under the car and I saw oil. Oh no. So, of course, I brought it to the dealer. They said, no, it's your fault. Whoever did the oil change spilt the oil. I said, no, I don't think so. They said, yes. Whatever. So they cleaned it off, gave me the car back and said, keep an eye on it. So I kept an eye on it. And of course, there was still oil underneath. So I bring it back to them for the next oil change. I said, check out that oil leak and change my oil. They come back. It's a rear main seal leak. And for those of you who are not familiar with cars, in order to fix that, it's a pretty big job. They have to pull the transmission, and there's a seal in there where the main shaft comes out. They had to put a new seal in there. It took a couple days to get that done, but of course it was covered under warranty. I'm thinking to myself, boy, did I buy myself a lemon or what? But from then on, the car has been pretty good. I would say very good. Until recently, I noticed a rattle. I tried to record it, but there's too much road noise in the camera. The GoPro couldn't pick it up. But there's a slight rattle in the car. And I recently brought it back to the dealership. And I said, what's that rattling sound? And believe it or not, the mechanic actually heard the sound, looked it up, contacted Nissan because they've never, realized that this was happening in any of their cars. Nissan got back to them and said, well, it's part of the fuel injecting system. It makes that noise. I'm like, okay. The service advisor said, it's a normal noise. I don't know about a normal noise, but you know what? I opened up the hood. I looked all over. I can't find any loose parts or anything that would be making that noise. So it kind of makes sense, because when I owned the Ultima a few years ago, they had that GDI fuel injected system, and that made like a valve tapping sound. So I can understand maybe that explanation. So I'm going to keep my ears open, my eyes open, and see if anything becomes of that, but I'm going to take their word for it that it is a fuel injector noise. So, what's it like driving this thing in the winter? Well, I do use the remote start, get it warmed up in the morning, so that's great. I get in the car is warm, the steering wheel is nice and warm, but for some reason, the heat warmers don't come on. Well, I tried everything to get them to come on, but they don't. So it's not a big deal. I mean, I turn them on as soon as I get in the car. But I now have a nice warm steering wheel and a warm car, so that's a good thing. About driving in the snow, well, how is this car? If I were to rate this, I would rate it as average. So your sports cars, things like that, rear wheel drive sports cars, of course, they're not any good in the snow at all. Then you've got your front wheel drive cars, which is this one. And I'm not comparing it to an SUV, believe me. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would rate this as a 5. I think it's a little bit better than the Hyundai Elantra, but not as good as a Toyota Corolla. Toyota Corolla is better than this. And of course, if you need a car to barrel through the snow, a car, mind you, not an SUV, my best choice would be the Subaru Impreza. That thing can barrel through a storm like no car I've ever driven. So in my opinion, if there's a forecast for a snowstorm, you're on your way to work, either call out leave early or get a hotel room because this thing will have a hard time getting you home. Yeah, if it calls for a few inches, up to 6 inches, you'll be fine. It does well in the slush. Lightly covered roads, not a problem for this. Back streets, you're going up for pizza or something, and you got a couple inches on the ground, you'll be fine. But a good sized snowstorm, 6, 8, 10, 12 inches, it's just going to cause you stress, and the car is going to slide all over the place. So that's the truth about driving in the snow with the Sentra. You may be asking yourself, well, what about the engine, the transmission? Has it lost any power? I've heard bad things about the CVT. Well, after almost 20,000 miles, I haven't had any trouble with the engine or the transmission. They both seem pretty powerful. It's very responsive. No, I'm not going to get that hard power, that hard shot off the line that you might expect with some, cars with standard transmissions, but it's a little slower. But you know what? I use it as a commuter car. I don't need to do that. I drive the car normally. I don't punch it. I don't drop the transmission into lower gears. There's no need for me to do that. So I feel if I continue to drive responsibly, it should last me a while. Now, I do maintain that your transmission should be checked out. So in another 5,000 miles, I'm going to service the transmission. I'll drain it. I will check the transmission screen, see if there's any metal debris in there, and clean that out, because a CVT transmission tends to make more of a metal debris in there. So I want to clean that out. And now, I know I mentioned a couple things which I enjoy about this vehicle, and it's very quite comfortable. I'm just gonna show you. Okay, with these seats, really nice. The sides of the seats really hug your body well. The stitching on here is very nice. It's soft, but it's firm. I don't know, that makes no sense, but it's a really nice place to sit in, and it like almost conforms to your body. I know it doesn't, but it feels like that. And when you're driving, I like a good stereo system in here, because you kind of like relax and all of that. But I found this cool feature in the settings. So if you're in the audio and you go into settings here and you click on the sound, okay, you see you have your normal bass, middle, treble, balance, fade, all that. But this bass enhancer, if you're listening to music, I turn that on. It's really good. It gives you a nice bassy feel. And when I'm listening to talk radio, like my sports station, I just turn that off, because you don't really need it with people talking. I think that's a great thing. One of the things I also use in here is the cruise control, the intelligent cruise control. Now, I only use this on the highway. And what that does, that keeps a safe following distance from the car in front of you and maintains the speed. So it's kind of like set it and forget it. It does not steer itself. You have to maintain steering yourself, which you should anyway. But this intelligent cruise control does not work well on what I would say main roads, not side roads. You wouldn't use it on side roads, but like a double lane highway, something like that, where it's stop and go traffic. It's pretty aggressive. It'll come up on a car and then hit the brakes, and you're like, whoa, what the hell just happened? And then it'll slow down, and then it'll take off again. And it's kind of like choppy. It's very aggressive on those brakes. So at highway speeds, no problem. On stop and go traffic, it doesn't work as well. And my friends, that's all I have for you on the 2023 Nissan Sentra. I hope you are enjoying your Sentra. I hope there hasn't been any problems with yours if you have one. And if you're thinking about buying one, that's fine. I would look for a nice low mileage one. You don't want anything that's been driven hard, because that CVT transmission doesn't like hard, rough drivers. So, if there's any updates on this vehicle, I will keep you updated. But as of now, it's been wonderful. Thank you all for watching. And again, have a wonderful day.
Update alert. Yep, while I was making this video and editing it, just got an alert. Right from the news source, CNN. Hey, Nissan Sentras are going to be recalled. Yep, 2021 and 2022 will be recalled for defective tie rods. So for those of you who don't know what a tie rod is, it is the linkage in the steering. It's steering linkage which holds the controls the steering of the vehicle. And those tie rods were not correct for the vehicle. They're not strong enough. So essentially, if you got into a minor accident, such as hitting a curb, it could severely ruin the tie rod where it bends or breaks. And if that happens, you can lose control of your steering altogether, and it's just a serious issue. There has been a recall issue. As soon as I get the notice, of course, I'll take the car in and I will get those new tie rods installed, courtesy of Nissan.